Welcome back, everybody. Today we're here to talk about The Walking Dead Season 10 Episode 22, titled Here's Negan, and we're going to be looking at some images we got for the episode. These are brand new HD stills that they released for the episodes, and these ones are really awesome. In this whole episode, I think all the teasers and trailers have been really good, and part of that probably has to do with, me being very excited for this episode. And I'm sure many of you are excited for this episode because this is the long-awaited Here's Negan episode. It's finally right around the corner. I'm very excited for it. But yeah, we're going to be looking at some images in this video today, breaking them down. Looking into Negan's past and all that kind of stuff. Also, a general spoiler warning in case you are not caught up with The Walking Dead. And then also, if you're a fan of The Walking Dead, be sure to hit the subscribe button because we have a lot of Walking Dead content coming up. But other than that, let's get into the video. Alright, so the first image we have here is of these two guys. The guy on the right we actually saw in the sneak peek. And he is the guy who, or this is like a group, they're all together, but they have Negan tied up. And Negan is trying to get these IV bags for his wife, and they're not letting him have it. So the guy on the right, he seems to be like the leader, I think, or at least he's the one that Negan is talking to. And I wouldn't be surprised if this is like the first big step in Negan changing. Like after dealing with these guys, maybe Negan changes because he realizes what the world has become, that you're going to run into people like this. It's almost like, if you remember Rick's episode in season 2, I think it was titled Nebraska, when he ran into those two people at the bar. And up until that point, like, Rick has never really killed anybody or anything like that, in The Walking Dead. But that was like a turning point for Rick. It's a really good episode. Again, I think it's titled Nebraska. And this kind of reminds me of that. This may be Negan's Nebraska episode where we see him, do his first Negan kill or something like that. And I wouldn't be surprised if we do see that. He probably will end up killing this main guy, the guy on the right, and then everyone else maybe will follow him. And maybe he, asserts his leadership there, killing the guy, and, everyone else has to follow him now. Something similar like, to what the Saviors are now. So that's what I kind of see happening. You guys let me know what you think. But this seems to be like a big turning point for his character. Next, we have a shot of Lucille. And looking at this image, I think we are going to go way back. Like, we might even go before the apocalypse even started. This may, if I'm remembering correctly, this may be the earliest, if it is happening, this early. Because other than that, I mean, we've been like maybe a few weeks before the apocalypse, but other than that, we haven't been that too far ahead. So that's something kind of interesting. But yeah, that's a shot of Lucille, Negan's wife. Also, a fun fact, Jeffrey Dean Morgan's real life wife. But anyways, moving on to the next image. This is kind of funny. We have Negan playing video games, and he has like the headset on. So I'm assuming he's talking to people. You have the cabinet with the games over there. We have like a lamp. So that's what I mean. Stuff like that kind of makes me think that we're probably going to go like way back into the, like modern world before the apocalypse happened. And it's kind of funny because Negan definitely seems like a type of person to be playing video games, especially like multiplayer. Maybe he's like talking smack to the people on the other end. I could definitely see that happening from Negan. But anyways, yeah, next image we have him. It looks like he's doing some sort of blood test. So maybe they both go in for a checkup or something like that, and that's how they find out. But this kind of looks like he's also doing a blood test. Now, before we get into the, Negan becoming Negan flashbacks, we also have this one, because this looks like she's in some like maybe doctor waiting room. Again, the lamp behind her. Lamps always sort of give it away. Like, I know there's certain groups and certain people who still have lamps in The Walking Dead, but this just seems, pre-apocalypse, like even what she's wearing, so yeah, it's pretty interesting that we're going this back into it. And so it kind of shows that they're really, going to be fleshing out this backstory, because we're going to see them together before the apocalypse and then in the middle of the apocalypse too, or like, the beginning of the apocalypse when things start going bad. And then we have this image. Negan is pointing his gun at somebody. This is obviously, I'm assuming, in the middle of the apocalypse, or like, the beginning of it when things start going bad. Negan is pointing his gun at this guy. I believe this guy is going to help Negan out. We're going to see more images of him in a second. But I think this may be like Negan's first friend in the apocalypse, maybe somebody he meets who helps him. So we'll see that. But it's really cool how they're doing this backstory for Negan. Like, really cool. Not just flashbacks, like a legit, full backstory where we see him before the apocalypse, in the beginning of the apocalypse, and then see him change into Negan. That's what I mean. Like, this episode has the potential to be, not only, I think, I'll say this, like, I don't think it has the potential to be one of the best episodes of the entire season, not just the extra 6 episodes. Like, it has that potential if it's done right. So hopefully they do it right. The things are looking pretty good though from the trailers. Next image we have of Negan here sitting in the little cabin. So we're also going to be getting some present day stuff too from Negan. So again, lots of stuff in this episode. I don't know how long the episode's gonna be. Hopefully, everything fits properly. Nothing seems too rushed or anything like that. But this is Negan looking at Negan. And if you've seen the trailers, you know what I mean. So basically, present day Negan is sitting in this cabin in front of the fireplace, sort of like thinking about his past, and he's sort of hallucinating his older self. That is a lot different than what he is now. So that's what this scene is. And I think, seeing his old self is going to be him remembering his past also. And I don't think Negan really likes it, because in the trailer, he kind of threw a bottle at this chair because he kept imagining himself sitting there. So I don't think Negan really wants to see his old self. And I don't think Negan really wants to even remember his old past. It's just that right now he's by himself in this cabin. So that kind of makes him reflect on his past. And then we have another image of this guy. So it looks like this guy's going to be a pretty important character, or at least a pretty big character in this episode. He's putting his hands up. Negan probably has the gun on him. And I think he's going to help Negan, like I said. I think he's going to be one of the first people Negan meets in the apocalypse. Or I should say one of the first people Negan meets, I think, when he gets out of this. Because right now, or like in the early days of the apocalypse, when it's him and Lucille, and he's taking care of Lucille, I think they just pretty much stay down there. They occasionally go up. But in that image that he was pointing the gun at this guy, it kind of looks like he was by himself. So yeah, he could be scavenging. But at the same time, I think we're going to see in the episode, I think we're going to see Lucille die, and then Negan has to go out and sort of, move on and, survive and stuff like that, rather than just stay in a basement. I think we're going to see that, and this guy may be like one of the first people he meets. It feels weird when I mention Lucille dying, because I feel like it's a spoiler for some reason, but I mean, Negan already did say that, when he was in the cell talking to, I think it was Rick or Michonne or something, but I'm pretty sure he talked to, or it was Maggie, I don't know, but he did talk about it in the past, so I'm not spoiling anything when I say that, hopefully. Anyways, and then we have another image of this guy, so further proves that he's probably going to be a pretty important character. And he had like a little van behind him, and I think this may be the inside of it. So, he's sort of surviving on his own. And you can see some first aid kit, right next to him. So I'm sure he's going to bring Negan inside, maybe help out Negan. So he looks like a pretty good guy. So this is going to be really interesting, because it looks like Negan is going to run into some good people like this guy. And then he's also going to run into some bad people like we saw in the first image of those 2 guys who had him tied up. So it's going to be really interesting to see how Negan becomes who he is now. And I think a lot of that also has to do with Lucille dying. It's going to change him a lot. But yeah, I mean, they are really fleshing out his character for sure. And we're going way back like we saw in these images. I didn't think we would go that back. And seeing like them at the doctor and finding out Lucille has cancer. I mean, I don't know if we're going to find that out, but looking at these images, it kind of looks like we are. And I'm also really interested in seeing how this is going to affect the present day Negan, because it looks like he's really getting sort of haunted by these past memories. So we'll see what that means for his present self. Is he going to go back and apologize to Maggie for what he's done? Is he just going to be on his own for a while? You guys let me know what you think about that in the comments down below. And let me know what you think about these images and his, flashbacks too. Like, what do you think we'll see? What do you want to see in the flashbacks? But those were the images we got, so I am going to wrap it up there. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. If you did, be sure to leave a like rating. And also, again, if you're a fan of The Walking Dead, be sure to hit the subscribe button, because we have a lot of Walking Dead content coming up. And again, let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below. And as always, thanks for watching. Please take care, and I'll see you guys soon.